All right, so next up, switching gears a little bit, but to a topic that concerns a lot of us in South Dakota, or is relevant to a lot of us in South Dakota and across the upper Midwest. We have two speakers from outside of South Dakota, which is very exciting. We have Amy Weckle, who is a program manager with the Illinois Water Resources Center from Illinois, and then Hanna Bates, who is the acting assistant director of the Iowa Water Center at Iowa State University. And they are going to talk about a project that was initiated through the North Central Region Water Network to look at kind of resources that are out there and research and education and outreach materials relative to harmful algal blooms in the North Central Region. So with that, I will hand it over to them and they can take it away.
Thanks, John. I will start, and let's see if I can get my screen up. Okay, can everybody see that?
We're good.
Okay. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Hannah and I are both very pleased to be invited to participate in this conference. We will be talking about partnering to develop research, outreach, and education resources to mitigate harmful algal blooms in the North Central region of the United States. A brief introduction or review for most of you, I'm sure.
Amy, your slides didn't move.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry. Let me try this again. There we go. Thank you, Hannah.
You're welcome.
So brief review of the terminology. Algae serves as a primary food source for many aquatic organisms and produces oxygen as a result of photosynthesis. This oxygen supports aquatic species habitats and growth and can be seen in the top picture here, the top image. An algal bloom is a rapid growth of this algae, and it occurs naturally. We also have cyanobacteria, which also their rapid growth results in blooms similar to algae, and can also sometimes referred to as blue-green algae. Harmful algal blooms, as seen in the bottom image, are cyanobacteria blooms that produce toxins. The main takeaway from this slide is you cannot tell if an algal bloom is harmful or producing toxins just by looking at it. So a brief PSA: in general, keep out of the water if there are visible scums or the water appears bright green, blue-green, red, or pink, and keep your pets from drinking or playing in the water. And that's the end of my PSA. As the cyanobacteria bloom dies, its decomposition results in hypoxic zones, which are areas of low or no oxygen, causing aquatic habitat shifts and aquatic species death. HABs typically occur in late summer and early fall, and their growth is encouraged by nutrient runoff, warm water temperatures, sunlight, and calm conditions. HABs are also increasing in frequency worldwide. The pressing threat of HABs has led to increased research activity across many federal programs, including the USGS Water Resources Mission Area. USGS administers a national network of water resources research institutes created by law under the Water Resources Research Act of 1964. There are 54 institutes in this network, one in each state and the 4 U.S. territories. The mission of these institutes is coordination with state and local agencies to safeguard the nation's water resources. To this end, each Water Resource Research Institute administers an annual competitive statewide program that focuses on local, state, and regional water resource problems, with each state individually setting research priorities based on the needs of their state. The response to HABs in each state, as such, in the North Central region depended on the frequency and severity of each occurrence and relied on the collective capacity of its health, natural resources, agricultural agencies, university researchers, and extension professionals. However, in 2017, 9 water resource research institutes in the upper Mississippi River Basin aligned their individual requests for proposals to include HABs as a focus area with the intent to gain, share, and synthesize knowledge on HABs in order to develop a regional standardized message for the public and educational professionals. With support from the North Central Region Water Network, this regional coordination initiative led to the formation of a 12-state team, the Algal Bloom Action Team, partnering water resource research institutes and cooperative extension to assess current HABs outreach and education efforts and establish uniform recommendations for the North Central region. In phase 1, the Algal Bloom Action Team took an inventory of the available literature from the Water Resource Research Institute sponsored HABs research and combined it with gaps in extension, HABs publications, and outreach efforts. The Algal Bloom Action Team was then able to subdivide the regional needs into 5 key areas: general HABs knowledge, identifying, monitoring, and treating HABs, human health and HABs, animal health and HABs, and landscape nutrient management practices and HABs. The team was also able to identify 3 target audiences: the general public, the engaged citizen, and water professionals. The complete white paper is accessible at the link at the bottom of the slide. With the key areas and audiences identified, the Algal Bloom Action Team compiled research recommendations and outreach needs for the North Central region. Development of the outreach products is the focus of phase 2, which Hanna from the Iowa Water Center will now discuss.
All right, we're going to do some slide switching. Okay. If I can get mine to go. All right, just to confirm, you can see my slides, not my notes.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, as Amy mentioned, our current phase of this project is to develop community outreach and engagement materials focused on HABs. Before creating outreach materials, it is key to first assess stakeholder engagement in HABs. There are numerous competing interests when it comes to HABs mitigation within the Midwest region. So we had to determine opportunities and challenges for communicating HABs. In respect to communication, there's often a mismatch between researchers and the public when it comes to mass communication regarding a topic, as many of you calling in today might know. Information can often get lost in translation between the two groups due to differences, and then the ultimate message of HABs mitigation loses its effectiveness for those who need to hear it most. So we sought to determine the audience for harmful algal bloom research and extension so that we can be the most effective in reaching out to a variety of communities to improve HABs mitigation across the North Central region. Harmful algal blooms impacts a wide range of industries and individuals, as well as a wide range of activities from individual human use to recreation to manufacturing. Key audiences include researchers, water research administrators such as myself and Amy, extension professionals, federal agencies, state agencies, municipalities, private sector, lakefront property owners, rural and urban residents, farmers, and those who participate in water recreation. So, that is a lot of groups. So as you see, there are numerous stakeholder groups who could be involved in HABs mitigation or impacted by HABs. To reach out to all of them with tailored outreach and communication through a multi-state effort would require extensive resources. For this effort, we determined that extension professionals are our key target audience because they are the change agent within state and local communities, as well as in local social networks. Extension professionals seek to mitigate negative agriculture, economic, and social conditions that harm environments and public health, all of which HABs can have a dramatic impact on. As a result, we developed our core position statement for this effort, which is, for extension professionals who are addressing harmful algal blooms impacting their community, Algal Bloom Action Team provides credible, science-based information that is user-friendly to a multitude of stakeholders. The Algal Bloom Action Team will identify solutions to a variety of harmful algal bloom situations, give extension information and tools to amplify their efforts, which in turn will empower diverse communities to implement these solutions. So right now, as Amy mentioned, we're working on products as our second phase. So to start with is our resource webpage. We have a website in progress that will house all outreach information and serve as a resource for HABS information. The products on this page will include fact sheets, webinars and video shorts, meeting toolkits, and earned media resources. So to start with, fact sheet or the written word. Our main objective is to develop common messaging resources for North Central Region Extension and WRRI, that's Water Resources Research Institute, educators to use in HABS education and campaigns. The first is a fact sheet tailored to different extension audience, which can be both styled and plain text. We will also have mid-length narrative text and social media statements for people to tweet or post on Facebook. Future content will include a suite of materials to support earned media efforts, which are pieces to non-paid promotional efforts to local radio, TV, op-eds, and online news, as well as press releases as new research is published. Our second is video shorts in our webinar series. Our main objective here is to develop or curate 30-second to 5-minute video shorts of researchers and technicians out in the field or in a lab to educate on principles of identifying, monitoring, and treating HABs to use in online university classes. This can also be used online through social media or as a teaching tool within in-person classrooms. We will also promote the videos through existing multi-state water-related networks. We will also use this series to build interest into our webinar series. And the main objective of our webinar series is to highlight regional research supported by or complementary to water resources research and extension activities. We will also seek to identify common threads in WRI funded research and other regional water resource issues as well. Lastly, and most importantly, we want to keep a two-way communication channel between researchers to foster relationships and to get an annual update on current research in harmful algal blooms. So we will hold an annual research symposium every spring. The main goals include building a network of peers in the HABS research community, identify gaps in research needs, update our outreach materials to the public with up-to-date information as new research is becoming available, develop research teams to address multi-state efforts, and be inclusive to extension research efforts to address practical issues their communities are facing. So extension is really at the boots on the ground folks that are addressing emergent problems. So we want to make sure we're inclusive to that within our research goals. And of course, we want to identify potential funding resources for harmful algal blooms research. Lastly, we want to encourage you to save the date for our upcoming activities. We will hold our first annual harmful algal blooms research symposium, which will be virtual, on January 6th and 7th. This is a 2-day event addressing everything from monitoring and landscape management to addressing animal and human health impacts. Registration for attendees is free, but we will have sponsorship opportunities for organizations in the public and private sector. I also want to highly promote our webinar series, which will begin in spring 2021. We will have thematic webinars that address issues within animal, human health, landscape, and monitoring, all of which will be covered throughout a several-month period. I also want to highly encourage you to stay connected with us. Please sign up for our listserv to receive updates and HABS content, including info for our symposium and webinar for registration and sponsorship opportunities. And I'd be happy to list that link within the chat box at the conclusion of our presentation. And absolutely lastly, we want to acknowledge our partners and collaborators in this effort. There are too many to name with the time we have, but I hope that if you're from this region, you can spot your institute and water center on this page. It is this collective effort that's really making this an impact across the region. So we're very thankful to those who are participating in this effort. And with this, I think we are ready to take questions.
Wonderful, thank you. So first question is, who will be the South Dakota contact for this effort? Dave, do you want to take that?
Yeah, Jay, I've been working with this group since its inception. So I'll probably be the South Dakota contact for that. I'm in the written word subcommittee, so we're producing materials that we hope to share in South Dakota. We just we don't always have the resources available in South Dakota, and that's why we're very interested in getting involved in this project to share those resources and have that information available for South Dakota residents and extension professionals as well.
Great, thanks, Dave. Next question is, so it's maybe a little more of a research question. So are you using remote sensing technology to monitor algal blooms? What type of instruments to collect algal bloom data, and then any statistical modeling with machine learning? I know it's probably not necessarily the efforts of this team, but are you integrating any of that?
Yeah, we, our phase one was doing a meta-analysis of what research is out there, both being funded by the Water Resources Research Institutes and others that are affiliate with extension programs. I can say for the first half for remote sensing that University of Minnesota Water Center, the Water Center at University of Minnesota is doing remote sensing technology with LiDAR data and satellite imaging of monitoring their lakes. Let's see, statistical modeling and machine learning. Amy, I might toss this over to you just to double check.
I really am not experienced in that whatsoever. I know Illinois has only had one HABS funded project since the start of this, so we don't have much of that, but that's certainly something we could add to our focus areas for the next call for proposals.
I think remote sensing technology is the main driver of doing research on monitoring and prediction at this moment. But that'd be a great RFP someday from one of our institutes to focus on.
Yep.
Great, yeah, thanks. And we have a project funded by our 104B program looking at water quality in Lake Mitchell using Sentinel-2 satellite data and then collected data with a sonde in Lake Mitchell. But yeah, there's a lot of potential opportunity in the future for that stuff. Any other questions?
Sure, and also unfortunately, right?
Yeah, right. Good point, Amy. Yeah.
And I have dropped that listserv sign up into the chat box. I hope everybody can see it. I highly encourage you to sign up to follow along with what we're doing and to get details as our events come available.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. This is really exciting stuff. And like you all and Dave mentioned, it's really great that it is a regional effort. I think that really brings a lot of strength, different people's expertise, different people's experiences. One question, are there any wildlife agency representatives on the team, on the ABAT?
Not at this time. We are strictly a Water Resource Institute and cooperative extension group, but we're hoping that we will promote these things and some of those members will attend our symposium and our webinars and make use of our deliverables, our different products that we're putting together.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.